Spider-Man PS4 is honestly a great game. It may not be flawless, but heck, it still had some great things about it. The story was pretty nice, the characters were pretty great, and on top of that, aside from the Miles and Mary Jane sections, and also a few other things which I'm not gonna mention, the game was damn near perfect, you know? And I'm really excited to see what they're going to do for the sequel. Now, even though I'm a bit, kind of off put from the face in the remaster and the one that's going to be in the sequel, I'm at least glad that we're at least getting another Spider-Man game. And Miles Morales is honestly looking like a great step up and is honestly looking a bit more better than Spider-Man PS4. I'm not trying to trash the PS4 game, but it honestly looks like Insomniac knew what they were doing and they're honestly just giving us a new perspective about what we possibly might see in the next game. And yeah, I would like to add on more on top of that, but heck, last time I tried that in a YouTube video, it just didn't work. So today we're going to be looking at some individuals which are trying to trash Spider-Man Miles Morales, and oh boy, it's pretty bad. So, let's get started.
October 20th. Uh, I believe the Ancient God DLC for Doom Eternal has came out already. So why aren't you Sony fanboys playing the Ancient Gods Doom Eternal DLC? Huh? Oh, that's why, because you're a Sony fanboy. You only play Sony games. You don't play Doom Eternal. You don't play the Ancient God DLC. No, you're playing Spider-Man, this stupid black Spider-Man game.
So there's a few things to point out, and just in the beginning of this video, which is pretty surprising. He says that you have to be a Sony fanboy to not enjoy or not play Doom Eternal, when that just can't be the case. What if you're someone which doesn't like shooters or just doesn't like Doom? What if you're someone which doesn't have enough money to buy the Doom Eternal DLC, but is saving up to go get a PS5 and Miles Morales? I'm not sure about you, dude, but it kind of sounds a bit hypocritical. Also, I love the fact that he brings up that Miles is black, as if it's something which isn't already obvious by looking at him.
It's just a DLC. You can look at the gameplay I'm showing you. The combat is similar. The combat, the graphics, the gameplay mechanics. It's the same thing. This game is a DLC. It's a DLC. And it's an Arkham Knight clone. Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, whatever. It's a clone of Arkham. And yet you Sony fanboys, you're getting excited to play this DLC when you could be playing the DLC of Doom Eternal.
So just to clear your guys' confusion, just in case you guys didn't know, Spider-Man Miles Morales is not a DLC. It's a spin-off game. It's basically like the base game but has some extra things added to it. It's kind of like Resident Evil 3 or yeah, it's kind of like Resident Evil 3 in a way. It's a game that reuses models and adds a story and some other features on top of it to make it its own thing. And it makes sense about why they would just use the base for what they had for the PS4 game, because why the heck would you just eliminate everything which you already had just in order to create something completely new, especially if your game just came out a year ago and just in case the thing which you already had was already successful. It would kind of make no sense, it would ruin the entire point. But on top of that, another thing I want to say is no, Spider-Man is not an Arkham clone. I think we should have this cleared that Spider-Man kind of had the whole dodge and attack system since Spider-Man 2, like the movie tie-in games. So it doesn't really make it a clone just because it has the dodge and attack mechanic. I'm just pointing that out, folks. Just pointing that out.
Imagine being this much of a fake gamer, a beta male, that you would play beta games like Miles Morales, instead of being an alpha male, such as like myself, who play alpha games like Doom Eternal and the Doom Eternal Ancient Gods DLC. You're a beta male. You're a cuck. You're not an alpha male shad like me. Okay, I have hair all over my body just by playing Doom Eternal. You? You don't have hair? You're a femboy. I'm not a femboy. I'm an alpha male. I play alpha games.
So you heard him, boys. If you don't play Doom Eternal or its DLC, you're just a femboy. You're not a alpha gamer. You're not some gamer which has some hair on their chest and shit like that. You know, in all honesty, I haven't heard logic like this in years. I think last time I heard someone talk like this, it was on a Facebook group, and that was like from, I don't know, 4 years ago before all the mess that was 2020 was. It's really funny to think that how people will say that if you don't play this specific game that I like, then you're just inferior to me. You're nothing on my level. When people could have multiple preferences, you know? I'm not the type of person which grew up with first person shooters, but I'm the type of person which grew up with multiple games. So I could say that I'm the type of guy that would enjoy Doom Eternal and Spider-Man, or Doom Eternal and a platformer game, or just any other game in general, because I've played multiple games in my time and I naturally don't really have a bias towards one thing or another. So for you to try and have this bias and try and say that everyone that isn't with you is inferior is pretty stupid, and it kind of ruins your entire point and kind of ruins your side of anyone wanting to listen to your arguments. But as I said earlier, let's continue with this bullshit, fam. And as much as it would be nice to call out this guy for his bullshit and for his ego, unfortunately that's not the case, because this person literally just repeats the same arguments again and again, and kind of acts like that one person in school which thinks that he's cooler just because he can. But I think this is the part where I head on to the second video of ours, so let's get started.
Hi, this is Future Movie World Zone, and I couldn't tell you if the Marvel Miles Morales Spider-Man game is actually out or not, but I do know if it isn't out, this game, it's gonna flop regardless if it hasn't already. Because this Miles Morales Spider-Man game that really is just a remastered version of the Spider-Man game that came out a few years ago, it's just a sad attempt to tick a load of woke boxes and to get some extra money, but more so extra attention, that they are doing good things when it comes to diversity and they are really pushing that Black Lives Matter narrative. That's
Yes, Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2018 are similar, but it's not a remaster. See, a remaster would be the first game, right? But with everything being the same as it was, but with a graphical upgrade. But Miles Morales is clearly not just a graphical upgrade. It's a completely different game. It's pretty clear that if you watch the gameplay trailers or listen to the interviews that they didn't just copy paste Miles onto someone else and try and do a whole bunch of stuff in a lazy route, and instead that they're trying to go with something else. Also trying just to lazily say that Miles is trying to pander to Black Lives Matter, and also that diversity is something which is bad, especially when they're trying to go with a specific tone to this game, is kind of stupid in all honesty.
the only reason Sony is doing something like this. So I don't think this Marvel's Miles Morales game is going to hit, it's going to sell all that much, because there's no money when it comes to going woke and getting very political.
Man, I can't believe I have to explain this, but our genius over here has some problems, so let me explain some things. So, Miles Morales is made by Insomniac, not by Sony. It was Insomniac's decision to go make this game, not Sony's. And on top of that, this game isn't really political or woke. I don't get why people are trying to say that. Now, is it because Miles' mom is trying to run for office in some place in the town or where they are? Because if that's the case, they explain that in the interview. And if you're trying to talk about how it's diversity and stuff like that, it's explain the tone and the setting, and it's also explained in the interview. I'm not sure about you, but it almost seems like you didn't do any research when going into this topic, in all honesty, and it shows.
And I think that will show after its first week out, this Spider-Man Miles Morales game, that it won't sell all that much, or to the expectations maybe. Some people think this game's just going to go flying off the shelves, because a lot of people have already played the Spider-Man game from a few years ago. So it's only the Miles Morales content people would be buying this version of the game, and considering Miles Morales is not a successful character and a lot of people see him as the woke tokenism version of Spider-Man.
So just to start off, so this idiot legit said people are only going to be playing the game for the Miles Morales content. Like, I don't know what you're expecting to do. Like, it's not like the game is named Spider-Man Miles Morales and we're going to be playing as him. Like, are people expecting to play as Spider-Man 2099 or Spider-Gwen or Spider-Punk or Spider-Pork or any of the other Spider-People? Like, I don't know what he's honestly expecting. Like, is he expecting us to be playing as a Spider versus if we're not playing as Miles? Like, that logic personally doesn't fit with me. And on top of that, I really like how he says that Miles isn't like a character which people like and is only seen as someone for woke points. When, if you've taken a look or have paid any attention to the past few years, people have loved Miles, and mainly due to Spider-Verse. So once again, I don't really get the logic you're trying to go for in this video, and once again, stop saying that the game will flop if you're not even going to give an actual reason other than saying that, oh, Miles is a woke character, and with not actually giving an actual reason as to why Miles is supposedly woke.
I definitely just am safe to say that this game in particular will be one woke flop in line with the Marvel's Avengers game. But you know what, as far as I know, I don't even know if it's out. That's how much I don't care about this game and what happens to it.
So because this guy was too incompetent to explain why the Avengers game is failing, I will try and explain in a pretty simple way. Now, let's start. So, aside from the game being a games as a service game to where, it is giving content over time to keep its player base and to keep a reason for people to come back by, I don't know, introducing new locations, new characters, and new content in general, the game itself has flaws, like the repetitive combat, which doesn't give you a incentive to do like anything special like Spider-Man PS4 or another game where you do cool combos or anything to actually have fun. You kind of do it just like Destiny. You shoot at the bad guys or you just beat up the bad guys until they're all dead, and then you move on to the next place. Aside from that, there's bugs and the fact that the game is lacking content. And there's another thing I want to bring up. It's his second point, which he keeps bringing up throughout this entire video. Not the fact that he says, oh, the game is going to flop. It's the, oh. I don't care about this topic, so I will continue to keep saying that I don't care. My question is this. If you just don't care about this topic so much, then why the fuck are you making a video on it? It seems just kind of counterproductive. Yes, I will continue to say about how much I do not like this game, and about how much I don't care. But instead of me probably not making the video, I will proceed just to ramble on with shit which I have no idea about, and I will continue to say that I will not care whatsoever. Even though that is very counterproductive, it makes no fucking sense.
Because Miles Morales is trash, so why would I care about this game? But I feel like a lot of people are feeling that way. I feel like the people who are making a big fuss on social media are just SJWs trying to make this game seem bigger than it really is. And I feel like most people aren't really giving a damn or being aware of this game or when it comes out and if they are going to even bother to buy it or not. Cyberpunk 2077 is the game everyone is excited for and is currently probably aware at the moment and saving their coins for that particular game, not this Spider-Man Miles Morales game for sure.
But since we're at the end of the video, I think this is the part where I come to my final conclusion, which is this. Both of the videos at the end of the day are pretty fucking terrible, mainly due to the fact that not only do they fail at criticizing the game, but whenever they're talking about whatever subject, it's just pretty bad. For the first guy, he brings up the fact that the game looks like it plays like Arkham, which I guess you could say is fair, but other than that, that's it. Everything else is about Doom Eternal, about how you're inferior if you don't play Doom Eternal, which is stupid. And then there's the other guy, which all he does is say that the game is woke and that it's going to flop and this and that, while at the same time taking no research into what he's talking about, and it's pretty fucking sad as well. And I honestly wonder about how these people unironically were like, yeah, this would be a good video to make. But that's all I gotta say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and that's all. 11360 out, and I will see you in another video coming soon. Later, folks.